My bad, y'all can't even hear me. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Oh, what's going on? What's going on? What's up, y'all? MacWorld. I know what time it is, man. Y'all coming in right now. Get them likes up. Get them likes up. Hit that subscribe button. You did. Trying to get this thing lit up. You know, go ahead. Grab your junk. Grab your junk you need. You know what I mean? Get settled in. We got some stuff to talk about, right? So, yeah, that's what we gonna do. And that's what we gonna do. Okay? Matter of fact, you know what? I had this beat I wanted to play for y'all for my intro. But I ain't done with it yet. So I'm gonna do an experiment. I'm gonna play the beat straight out of my mixer. Straight out of my MPC beats. And see how it come out. Cause yeah, I just want to try it one time, see if I could do it. Cause then I know one thing for sure and two things for certain. I can make beat tutorials if it work. So yeah, we gonna unwittingly subject y'all to a technical experiment. Damn it. Ooh, oh, okay, yeah, I'm close enough to 2 minutes. You know, got my moderator in the house, man. My brother. Two Guns. What's going on? Say something to the people.
What's the frame, man? The frame
right here.
What's good, people?
What's going on? This my dude right here, man. You know.
What's good, people?
We sit up and chop up major debates, major. You know what I'm saying? High level concepts and shit. You know what I'm saying? I would like to consider him definitely one of the people that helped me the most putting the shit together, you know what I'm saying? And coming up with some of these thoughts. So, you know, shout out to the gang, man. Shout out to everybody. You know, y'all see I had to throw my Versace's on today. All right. R.I.P. Christopher Wallace. All right.
You know what I'm saying? Got the flannel on and shit.
Nah, and y'all, dude, do y'all see this?
In the motherfucker right now, man.
Bro, do y'all see this? Do y'all know I paid $19 for this joint from what you call it? What's that place called? Went there the other day. Me and April went there the other day. Foreman Mills. My first time ever going in there. I seen this jacket. Oh, this mug was on, and it's warm. It's a Sherpa, so that mean it got the fur on it. I said, man, $19. What for the lumberjack? Go ahead. So I had to way back when I had the red and black lumberjack with the hat to match. And I had to throw on my Versace's. It's all good, baby. It was all a dream. You know, fucking yo bitch after I'm talking shit. I make my own version of juice.
I'm fresh from the plantation.
Man, this man right here make multiple figures a year. You know what I'm saying? He running the plant, right? But he running it right now. You know what I'm saying? While he tuned in, he came to check my podcast out, and he's still getting paid right now, man. You know what I'm saying? So he doing what he's supposed to do. You know. He ain't know it was a R.I.P. Biggie day. You know what I'm saying? The R.I.P. Christopher Wallace day today. You know.
Because I got my Timbs, I got my Beacon Brocks. You know what I mean? I got my flannel shirt.
You know, he would have two would have went Coogee sweater. You know, he would have did all the Biggie looks. Now he would have went Versace shirt. You know what I'm saying? What's that when they was on the boat, hypnotized and shit.
Fucking belly button out and shit at the bottom.
Hey, real shit though, man. I'm glad my homeboy showed up, man. It's always a good thing, man, when your peoples drop in on you. So today, and actually. So I keep it all the way 100. I'm keeping 100 with my homeboy too, right? So he said he had an incident that popped up, and he hit me early this morning, first thing, and he said he was coming through. He had an idea for a topic, and I said, all right, cool, that's what we gonna do. But I didn't know if he was gonna come through in time. So when y'all look at the thumbnail, the topic that we gonna discuss, one of the topics you're not gonna see on there, even though it tie in everything I'm talking about. And basically we gonna get into it, but I just give y'all a idea, boil down to like representation and representation in the media. Um, and what it mean, you know what I mean? What it mean now, and the things we let slide now, what they could mean for later, and all that. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna talk about something. He brought something to my attention that I never knew about a movie that I used to always watch, that my mama and them used to always watch. This movie called The Color Purple. I don't know if y'all ever seen. Yeah, I seen The Color Purple. That's like one of the like 20 black movies that, you know what I'm saying, everybody done seen before. But it was a lot of controversy surrounding it that I ain't know about. So he brought that to my attention, and it tied in to my topics today. So we're gonna talk about that, get into that. But yeah, in the meanwhile, y'all know how we do, man. We start this thing off with some music, man. So let everybody get their things together. You know, if my mama listening, hey mama, how you doing, mama? She told me how to say something in Swahili. I was gonna say it too to her, but I can't even remember what it is right now. You know, stuff get lost in translation. So she told me to tell her something, and I wanted to say something. You know what? Okay, I'm gonna tell you something interesting. So I asked my mama, right? I'm like, I want to talk about you know, these folks like what I call plantation overseers, you know, like Charleston White, Kanye West, you know what I'm saying, these academics. So I asked my mama, I said, Mama, how you say traitor in Swahili? And she had to think about it, like, and she was like, and she couldn't really think about it. Then I'm like, okay, I know how stuff, you know, get lost in translation. So I'm like, what do you call somebody that turns on the village? I'm like, what do you call someone who backstabs the tribe, like who leaves the tribe to go to the other tribe? You know what I'm saying? And it was so funny because my mom was trying to think about it. What up? We got Fresh in the building and shit. He say, what up, too?
What's up, bro?
Hey, so I asked my mom, I'm like, what is one who betrays the tribe? You know what I'm saying? And she couldn't really come up with no word for it. And it made me think, right? It just had me thinking like, damn, let me find out that it ain't no word for that shit because it ain't common. You know what I'm saying? Like your tribe is your family. It ain't no betraying. Like, where would you go without them? You know what I'm saying? Who are you without them? So it's like, it wasn't no word for it. And I was like, damn, that's deep. You know, we got all them words here. Finesser. Like, what would you be? Finesser, backdoor. I backdoored them. You know what I'm saying? We got all the cool ass words for the downfall here. You know what I'm saying? So I was tripping off of that. I'm like, damn, that's kind of deep. How sometimes stuff don't get lost in translation. There just ain't no room for that shit to translate over. You know what I'm saying?
I can example of that too, man. Probably kind of a little bit off topic, but
go ahead. Just make sure you talk loud enough so
I was talking to this Mexican at work, and we was talking about like the differences between like the Spanish of a Mexican and the Spanish of a Puerto Rican. And he used a dope ass example that fall in line with this. Dog was like for watermelon. You know what I'm saying? Like in Mexico, they actually got a word for watermelon in Spanish, but like in Puerto Rico, they say like something like an agua motherfucking fruit. You know what I'm saying? Like a watermelon, like a literal water,
and then
fruit,
like melon.
You know what I'm saying?
I got
and
you.
It was like this weird ass
Interesting.
Like since they didn't have a word for it, like they translated it literally. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I wonder if your mom can translate something literally, like, you know what I mean, like a. You know what I mean? Along the lines in Swahili.
Yep. That's exactly, see what you explained, bro. Good looking. Like what you explained is exactly how shit getting lost in translation work. You know what I mean? That's exactly how it worked. So for y'all they ain't hear what he said, I'm a line y'all up real fast. He was talking about translating the word watermelon. In one language they had a literal translation for a watermelon, but in another language they had to like damn near combine two words to get it. So it was like the combination of the word water with melon, like agua Melania or something like that. You know what I'm saying? They had a agua Melania. You know what I mean? So it was one of them things like that. And no, I definitely get it. And that's what it was with my mom. And that's why I tried to do it different ways. Like, what is one who leaves the village? Like, I had to try and hit a sweet spot with her and shit. You know what I'm saying? Because she get lost in translation. Day to day, K, what's going on with you? Key in the building. Uh-oh, we got wrenches on deck. Tool on deck. Watch what you say. Watch what you do. You know what I'm saying? The tools is after you, damn it. You know what I'm saying?
Tool on the screen.
Big blue tool on deck. You know what I'm saying? Well, hey, Two had me dying. He was like, man, it's too much power, man. Motherfucker better not sneeze wrong in the room now. You know what I'm saying? Or Tool is going to work on their ass. Tune them right on out of here.
Fuck up.
Come on, man. Knock that shit off, man.
Nah, but yeah, that shit crazy, man. All right, we having too much fun. Whenever my people come through, we end up doing this. We end up having too much fun. So yeah, we gotta get this thing started, y'all. I'm gonna go and throw this music on. I gotta get some water and shit, do some things and shit, right? So let's get this show started, y'all. MacWorld, let's go. MacWorld. What's going on with y'all, man? All right, so let's get into these things, man. Hey, I fucking love this shit, right? I get to cuss now. My 2 minutes is up. I can say what the fuck I want to say. You know what I'm saying? Nah, for real though. All right, so the first thing I wanted to talk about was this dude. Well, we'll go to him first. I want to talk about Alex Jones. I don't know if y'all know who Alex Jones is. He got a show called InfoWars. Now what's crazy is me myself, like back in the days, I remember watching Alex Jones. He one of these YouTube, early YouTube. You remember around the time with all the conspiracy theories about like all the Illuminati conspiracies, all the what's some of them, like Project Blue.
I'm like, man, just
What's some of what was that? What was some of them conspiracies from that era? It was like Project Green something, like basically like they was gonna take over some shit, like overthrow the government and all this other stuff. Like he was one of the main conspiracy pushers around when that was big on YouTube. Like Bohemian Grove, stuff like that, secret societies.
like the cause of like that fucking pizza shooter, like they
Okay, bam, that's a good one right there. So we hit one on the head. It was they was talking about it was something called Pizzagate, where they came up with this whole cool ass conspiracy. And I remember my dumb ass was watching it, and you know, like when this shit happened, you really don't know. Like, you tend to. First of all, I could say this: YouTube was new. Now we know the power of YouTube, and it's like it's way more frequent where you have people now becoming YouTubers, and we see how easy it is to just get your shit out. You know what I'm saying? But originally, before people was really knowing about OBS and stuff like that, like somebody with a YouTube channel, especially something like InfoWars, you would look at it like it was damn near professional, especially if they was consistent. They had like, they cutting the different, like, man, I know how to do all that shit now. Alex Jones, nigga, you could come work for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know how to do all that stuff. That shit ain't nothing special. But you would look at it like, damn, you know, they legit or whatever. And so a lot of that stuff was flying by. I seen all type of conspiracies like Area 51. I remember seeing like Barack Obama was a clone, Michelle Obama was a man, like just all type of conspiracies. It was like man, just I can't even get into it all, right? And you will see all this stuff, and somebody like Alex Jones, he built the whole empire off of that shit. He has a show called InfoWars, and he has a whole company called Free Speech Systems, and they sell products, they sell supplements, all type of shit. Just if he could get you to buy into like the wide-eyed talking like this, oh, you don't know what's going on, like get you into the frantic delivery and all that, he gonna upsell you on some products and shit, you know what I mean? And that's basically what he do. That's what a huckster do. They try and tap into your emotions, and then they try and play off of them. So he been doing that for years, and I ain't gonna lie, like this what we doing right now. We keeping it real. This me telling y'all this shit. I used to believe that nigga. Yep. I ain't even gonna lie. Too laughing at me and shit. Hey, too laughing, right? But come on, man.
Hell the fuck no.
I know your ass done believed one of them Alex Jones conspiracies at one point in your life, man.
We had about all that wild ass shit, nigga. Now, guys, he's fucking conceding. No.
Nah, listen. This motherfucker had some hella conspiracies though. Yeah, them motherfuckers were complex. Nobody wasn't, and after a while, somebody keep on saying something enough times, right in somebody's face about that person, and that person ain't saying nothing about it. You get to thinking, damn, well, that shit might be true. You know what I'm saying? Because it was a point to where he was calling out shit. He was saying like, y'all remember the boss? Okay, bam, there we go. I just thought about those conspiracies he was behind. The Boston Marathon bombing. He said it was a hoax. Christopher Dorner, the NYPD officer that they burnt in the house, he said that them was actors. That was really LL Cool J playing a cop on the run. You know what I'm saying?
But no, he had some valid. Like he had like some celebrities though on this show that was like giving them credence. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying, bro. Conspiracy.
Because he had some rappers on there. Like I think he had like Wiz Khalifa on there one time. Not to say that
Yeah,
and on anything with any legit.
That's a good point. He said C2 said he had some people on there to validate him and shit, right? Like he had Wiz Khalifa on there. But you know what? That's kind of a testament to something I was gonna talk about as I got into his topic and as I got into our representation, man. Like this music, these like they try and tell you like, oh, this just a rapper, they just a rapper, this, that, and the third, man. Fuck that shit. You know what I'm saying? They trying to sell motherfuckers that it ain't nothing. They know these words is powerful. They know this rap music is powerful, which is part of my problem with Charleston White call itself going after rappers and shit like that, right? Because they know this shit is powerful. I don't care, good, bad, otherwise. This music, our music, especially in particular, rap music, hip hop music is the best thing that ever happened to us in this country. That's the best thing that we got. That's the best cultural capital we can create is through our music, our creativity through our music. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no better way we could create that shit. All them clothes and shit, being clothed in designers' clothes come and go. And you're never gonna really get a point across from an outfit, no matter what you write on that funky ass shirt, like you is if you say that shit in a rap with words, rhyming words is a skill. Alliteration makes thoughts stick in people's fucking brains. Like this shit is spiritual technology. And if you don't believe me, ask one of these sellouts like Kanye West. They know that this rap music is strong. I'ma say it one more time and shit in case that game went over y'all head. This shit is spiritual technology. You know what I'm saying? They use music for everything. They use music for weddings. They use music for funerals. They use music for every fucking thing. So these folks out here, think about it like this. Who do these kids know more of their words? Mitch McConnell or NBA Youngboy? You know what I'm saying? So who the fuck really got the power? And it's like I told you, it's always going to be a paradigm with nature seeking balance between power and influence. The more power that you try to amass through laws and legislation and just using the system, the more influence that the other marginalized people is going to have. That's why black people got so much influence. You know what I mean? They try to marginalize us as far as our power we get. We not represented. When you go look at a jury, ain't none of them finna look like you. When you look at the judge, he ain't finna look like you. When you look at your lawyer, he ain't finna look like you. Our power been cut off, but our influence is off the fucking chain. And that's by design. Nature gonna do that shit. You got kids with everything, born into everything. They wanna come live down in the hood. You know what I'm saying? They wanna be drillers and steppers and sliders and shit. You know what I'm saying? We trying to make it out. They trying to make it in. Why? Because that fucking music is so powerful. It's a force within itself. It ain't inherently bad or inherently good. It's a force. It's technology shit, you know? If the Indians had guns and shit, right? Like guns are an evolution of the bow and arrow. You know what I'm saying? It's the evolution of the firearm. If they had rifles and shit, right? The motherfuckers could have hunted way more efficiently. They didn't necessarily have to take the rifles and, you know what I'm saying, do a drive-by or something with them, or just, you know what I'm saying? Like, we make the shit what it is, the way we use shit. Even with this internet, you know what I'm saying? If the internet was introduced to us a certain way and not just being called social media, like when people was originally using the internet, it was like folks on Wall Street, scientists trading data that needed to get that shit across the world faster, military, all that. When they introduced it to the mainstream, they introduced it under the guise of social media. Now we see from the pandemic, man, you could work from home. You could have a whole career from home. They got some motherfuckers in Japan called Hikikomori. They never leave the house. They work from home. They order their food to the house. They never leave the house. It's people that ain't left the house in years. The power of the internet. Yeah, like Tu said. But it's people doing that shit. That's the power of this thing. You know what I'm saying? Or it could be, social media. Did you see what's going on with so-and-so? You know what I'm saying? Or motherfuckers could really do something and build something with this shit. But it's all about, this nigga came through with the fat leaf. Okay, we blowing some bumper clock ganja. Some ganja over here. Damn, Tu. Shit. The fuck.
crazy and everything. It's gonna be lightheaded as a motherfucker, dog.
Man, this motherfucker is not treated. This blunt is not treated. Every hit on this motherfucker is a sucker punch. It's a hit, but it's a sucker punch and shit, like in the back of the head and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Motherfucker blunt whooping your ass.
Jesus. What the fuck? What kind of rap is this? This a ass whooping.
Them young niggas smoke like that, dog. I've been trying to smoke like the young niggas, man. 3 grams in the blunt of some motherfucking straight leaf.
Look, niggas are dressed up and shit, and now my age showing. I hit the blunt, I hit the young nigga blunt, and I'm like, damn it.
Too much weed, son.
Too much weed in that blunt, son.
Too much weed.
Shout out to Joe, man. R.I.P., man, to the OG. You know what I'm saying? He said, man, one day y'all smoking them blunts, y'all gonna realize y'all don't need all that weed. It's too much weed in that damn blunt, son. And sure enough, listen, if you go upstairs into my chambers, you know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna see nothing but cones in there, which are rolling papers in a rolling machine, right?
Yeah, this right here is for show.
Ooh, yeah, nah, but this,
Go here with some joints that reflect our age and shit.
you know what I'm saying? We still trying to reach a younger audience, you know what I'm saying?
Demographic.
Niggas is talking big shit, bro. But nah, real shit. We over here fucking off and shit major, right? But I used to, like I said, real spill, man, like, Tales from the Crypt, like real shit, right? I used to be into that shit. Like I used to buy into them conspiracies. I used to be like, man, this going on. Rex 84 was the name of it. Bam. You know how shit hit you once you got what's they call that, your train of thought. Like I had to go back down that train of thought because that train been derailed. You know what I'm saying? Like the motherfucking Amtrak, you know what I'm saying, in the 80s, damn it. So I'm like, what the hell? But it was called Rex 84, Resistance Exercise 84. He said they was gonna round everybody up. They said they was gonna have a mass execution. FEMA had coffins ready.
Yeah,
they had the Georgia Guidestones that was talking about depopulating everybody. Like it was a real, like people was buying it. Then you know you can control a lot of people with fear. So he was one of the original fear mongers and shit. I say all that to say this. Today, you know, let's say I start getting into that shit about 2010. So about, what's this? 12 years later. Surprise, surprise. Let's see what Alex Jones is up to. Let's go, y'all. Check this out.
The hard truth for a man who made his living telling lies. Conspiracy theorist Alex Jones ordered to pay the families of Sandy Hook victims nearly $1 billion for the damage he inflicted for nearly a decade. His reaction? On brand. Here's ABC's Eva Pilgrim.
Tonight, a Connecticut jury punishing Alex Jones for years of lies with a staggering verdict, ordering the conspiracy theorist to pay nearly $1 billion in damages to the families of Sandy Hook victims. As the verdict was read, some of them in the courtroom, like Robbie Parker, weeping.
While the truth was being said in the courtroom, he was standing right here lying.
Lawyers for the family showing how just hours after the massacre,
Look, that's all the kids that got killed right there, right? Alex Jones talking about all them kids was actors, their parents was fake.
Some people's getting harassed.
So, yeah, like Tu said, that's just what I was finna say. Them folks was getting harassed about that shit. So imagine somebody in your family, a kid, one of these kids. Let's say even your kid, not even just a kid in your family, but your kid get killed at school. At school. First of all, that's traumatizing as a motherfucker. Secondly, after that shit happened and you go through it and all that, now here come people you don't even know mad at you about your kid getting killed and saying you're a liar. One of these people was talking about The people was telling them like, man, we know your son is alive. Where is he at? Where is he at? Meanwhile, dude's son is dead. The power of the fucking internet, like we was just talking about. They don't know this man, nothing. They don't got no reason to believe Alex Jones over him. I didn't have no reason to believe Alex Jones. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, it's the power of the internet. Somebody keep on saying something, and somebody, the person who they talking about, don't speak up. And eventually that shit become the truth to people. You know what I mean? So that was becoming people's lives. They was like, I bet you originally motherfuckers was probably like, man, we just gonna ignore that shit. Like, we know our child died, whatever. But what did that do? That emboldened them, right? He gonna keep going with it. Oh, okay, yeah. So then he come up with another conspiracy and another conspiracy, because this just one right here that he came up with that he getting sued for, the Sandy Hook shit. But no, he had more conspiracies than this and did way more damage than this. But it's just crazy, man. Karma is a motherfucker. And I'm gonna tell y'all right there, right now, that some of y'all woke Klux Klan members and all that, y'all like to spit this false information and get these followings. Y'all like to do this. Like, we got versions of Alex Jones in our community. Like, we got black versions of Alex Jones and shit. You know what I'm saying? I call them the woke Klux Klan. I'm gonna tell y'all why. Because like Charleston White, it's like Kanye West, all that shit. They interests represent white people, but they just got black skin. You know what I'm saying? They only interaction with black people or they blackness is to chastise and criticize. If you look at somebody like Kanye West, for example, he say that BLM is a scam, right? But you remember before he went to the White House and he put his MAGA hat on and all that, and he was explaining how he loved Donald Trump, and he said that he added love to the MAGA hat by adding some, which was racist as hell. Dog gonna square the brim up and say he added some love to it. You know what I'm saying? That's racist as hell. But nah, so he gonna fix the MAGA hat when he felt like the MAGA message was misconstrued. But with BLM, it wasn't no, oh, okay, I'm a billionaire, I'm black, black lives do matter. If I feel like the organization is fucked up, let me fix it. Nah, he said kill it. White lives matter. BLM is a scam, it's over, it's done with. He ain't say MAGA is not right, it don't represent all people, it's over and done with. You know what I'm saying? He ain't say instead of make America great again, it could have been BBBW, bring back Black Wall Street. You know what I'm saying? He could have did some shit like that. Bring back Black Wall Street. He could have did a number of fucking things and shit. But when it came down to it, what did he do? He said, man, look, BLM is a scam. Everybody knows it's a scam. It's over. It's done with. And then before, he was trying to use the Confederate flag, right? So I call them people the woke Klux Klan because this is the staple. This is the staple of them folks like Candace Owens, Kanye West, stuff like that. Their main thing is trying to be, how could I put it? Like trying to position themselves as leaders without leading. You know what I'm saying? Like me and Kim was talking about that earlier. Like the days of leaders like Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and shit like that are dead. Those kind of leaders are dead. Like people that led by example, that led from the front lines. Now our quote unquote leaders that we get, they idea of leading is getting out the fucking way of black people and talking about them from over here. You know what I'm saying? Like my version of leadership is being highly critical and shit like that. So as a matter of fact, you know what? Fuck Alex Jones. That brings me to my next topic, which I want to get on. Charleston White, right? And I want to talk about dude because it got something to do with what I was just talking about. People, the woke Klux Klan, clout chasing. So Charleston White said this, right? This is what he say. Is a controversy about him doing the shit he do, going after, kicking up these beefs and stuff like that, right? So this is what he had to say about it. I'm gonna let him talk in his own words, and then I'm gonna dissect it. Let's go.
No.
Yeah, no. Nigga like me just don't go away. Listen, nigga, I'm so bad I got T.I. online talking. I got celebrities responding to me, and I'm not even a celebrity. Nobody's been able to do this. No, so why would I quit now? Man, nigga got the Nipsey Hustle me, baby. Hell no. Nah. Or I'm on DMX myself. I want T.I. son in jail.
Oh God.
That's some pussy. I want to put rappers in jail. There's nothing more pleasurable than walking around with a heart on, knowing you the nigga got rapping niggas scared to mention your name. If I get every rapper that's rapping right now to write a Dear Mama song, I'll quit.
No, listen.
As long as they don't.
Why you not?
They got to change. No, they got to write a Dear Mama song.
Why you not with the Isley brothers? With them.
Ain't nobody ever done a drive-by and kill now nigga listening to the Isley brother. Ain't now nigga came home and kicked this bitch in our ass listening to the Isley brother. Bitch got her ass whooped from listening to Pimp C. So no, I'm attacking rappers. They done had free reign to destroy the community. Why y'all ain't got no problem with these niggas?
Now I want to go.
So let's dissect that right there, what he said, right? He said he going after rappers. He want every rapper he going after all the rappers and shit. Rappers are the problem, right? So people is like, okay, he doing this thing where I see a lot of people talking about like, oh, well, he calling out rappers and you know what I'm saying, so on and so forth. But I say this, right? What I hate that people do is they act like they trying to fix something, but they only want to fix the version of it that served them. It's like I'm helping, but I'm doing it in a self-serving way. If you listen to what he just said, he said that these are celebrities and they're rappers and they're responding to him and he's not a celebrity. So that lets you know right there, his intentions ain't just to help. His intentions are to gain some type of notoriety, what we call clout. You know what I'm saying? So he wants to get some fucking clout. He said he gets a hard on from it. He gets a kick. He gets a buzz out of this. Now, I could admit, like, you know, at least this bitch admitting, you know what I'm saying, what he doing, but that still don't excuse the outcome. And I'm going to get to that in a second. And it's something that only go on with black people, right? So let's talk about this, right? He say, I see people saying like, oh, how can y'all get mad at him? Y'all know how he is. He say he a civilian and all that. He not a gangster, he all this and that and the third, right? Now, why do these rules only apply to us? Why is this something that only apply to the black community, right? Because you don't see, where is the version of this of Charleston White going after MS-13? You know what I'm saying? Or something like that. Where's the version of Charleston White that goes after the mafia? That's just out here. He's an Italian dude, but he just, man, MAGA and all these Italians, they just gangsters and they just, all they do. Nah, it's always this element of like, you know, he understand how the streets work. He understand what make people go, join gangs and all that shit. He was even in the gang himself. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't like he like Two said, he did time. So it ain't like he oblivious to the reasons people do it. And it don't just be clear cut. Like, well, I'm just finna go out here and be the worst person on earth, terrorize society, and just be a piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? It don't just be like that. It be a lot of reasons that people join that shit. Now, the thing is, the only problem is for you to really attack those causes, you have to be a leader in your community. He's not a fucking leader and he don't want to be a leader. He wants to get clout and he want to get fame on the internet. The nigga is like 80 pounds soaking wet and he keep 9 and 1 already on speed dial when he go out talking shit. So all he got to do is hit the fucking one. He said that shit is damn self. You know what I'm saying? He say he would call the police, he would do all that. So basically, man, we already know what the allure of the police being called on the black man is to everybody outside of our culture. It's that they know the police gonna shoot first. So we got somebody over here, he say he a comedian, he say he telling these jokes and all this. That's his way of excusing his behavior. You know what I'm saying? But the shit he doing got real consequences. Would you let me say I'm a comedian and slap the shit out of your mama? You know what I'm saying? And let me say, oh man, I'm a comedian though. I ain't a gangster. I'm a civilian. I know I slapped your mama, but I'm a civilian. You know what I'm saying? And let me ask you this, right? I was thinking about this. I said, this is what's gonna be the nigga downfall. They said, somebody was like, he gonna get unalived and all that. This was gonna be his downfall, right? Sometimes you let the fame and you let the clout get ahead of you. That clout shit could be a drug too. He looked like he a dope fiend, and he looked like clout is his new addiction. You know what I'm saying? Like real shit though. And so the thing about it is, you could get a little bit ahead of yourself. What he gonna end up doing, mark my words, I'm telling y'all what's gonna happen right now and shit. What this man gonna end up doing is running to a nigga on the street that didn't get the memo that they're supposed to let Charleston White win. And that nigga gonna knock his damn head off. He ain't gonna know that, oh, this the dude from the internet. He ain't gonna know nothing about, his phone, he gonna be out in between the bid. He gonna be one of them career juvenile, been to juvie, been in jail more than out motherfuckers, don't really know how to use the internet. This nigga gonna come around thinking like, yeah, everybody know me from the internet. I'm Charleston White, I call the police. Nigga gonna knock his head off, and the police be damned, all that, you know what I'm saying? And it's gonna be like, man, no, wait, do it, let's go back, let's do it over. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, ain't no do-overs, you know what I mean? That's what's the fuck is gonna end up happening. Now, this is my other problem I got with that situation, and why I say this is plantation work, right? Because not only do we start to talk about he going after rappers and all this, but it all go hand in hand, because it's some real battles that gotta be fought out here. But if you notice, these quote unquote people that be trying to profess themselves to be leaders, it's always a product, it's always a rapper, it's always some celebrity involved. You know what I'm saying? We got schools getting shut down. They done took Martin Luther King and shit out the schools. You know what I'm saying? Took books about MLK out of schools. You know what I'm saying? They trying to bring a different perspective on Hitler into your schools. You know what I'm saying? We got shit like this. There's really shit going on out here. Like real problems that people in his age group, cause he not young just cause he got a fucking chain on and he act like an idiot. He an elder. You know what I'm saying? Like it's shit that elders are in the position to solve that kids can't do themselves. But the elders running around clout chasing the kids, cause basically what I get from dude is like, man, y'all kids letting me down. Y'all supposed to be leading me. Like y'all out here doing shit. And this how you know it's a clout chase, because he served time and he was a gangster, right? So let's just say now he doing this because he turned over a new leaf and he learned from his mistakes. So let me get this straight. You able to learn from your mistakes. So what you get from learning from your mistakes is, let me trash everybody else that learned from theirs. Or let me go after people that's in their phase that I used to be in and try to trash them and chastise them for my own clout, rather than helping them get to where I got. See, that's the thing. We got all these leaders we got all these people that want to fake lead. You know what I'm saying? We have figureheads. They want to be some figureheads. Like Kanye West, he will say, oh, I'm the richest black man, but you ain't finna do shit for black people. You know what I'm saying? We couldn't rely on you to take that money and do nothing. If somebody said Black Wall Street around you and shit, man, you would fucking go off on a MAGA tirade and talk about black people need to get their own money and do all this and that. But if somebody said, shit, invest in fucking nigga Ivanka's nutsack, nigga, you would fucking jump up and you will fucking do that shit in a second, like, see, we all need to come together. You know what I'm saying? So we don't be having no leaders and shit. Our leaders' idea of leading is just criticizing the fuck out of black people. You know what I'm saying? And that's what the fuck the problem is, and he one of them. You would think like, damn, okay, I was a gangster. I used to do shit. I ain't doing it no more. Let me help the younger generation coming up. Hell the fuck no. He like, let me attack the younger generation. He said, matter of fact, I'm gonna go beyond attacking the younger generation. I'm gonna attack the only thing helping them escape they situation, the music they making. Let me attack the music. Let me attack rappers, all that. Let me vilify that shit. You gonna simplify all the fucking problems we got to fucking rap music and rappers. And that's the problem with that shit. That's what I don't like. Now, I'm gonna show y'all this OG Percy clip where he was saying some real shit about, like, cause he a parent, and and T.I., he a parent, he got a son, all that shit, right? He a celebrity, but he's still a parent, and he's still a black man, right? So he was saying some real shit. OG Percy, man, shout out to dude, man. He be saying some real shit. If y'all don't know, Real Tune TV, OG Percy. He always got some good shit to say, but check this out though.
What's been new?
I just been sitting here watching it. I found out one thing new. It don't matter if you're rich or poor, these kids gonna do what they want to do. Shout out to T.I., man. I looked at T.I. the other day, man, when he was talking, man, he had a very, very hurtful look in his conversation.
My request, man, stop hitting me and getting in my comments, telling me what to tell King, okay? I know my son. Think I ain't spoke to my son? Think I ain't told my son, his mama, and his grandmamas? His ass going to prison. If he goddamn keep that shit up, his ass going to prison. Ain't no way around it. Ain't nothing I'm gonna be able to do about it. Can't nobody stop it but him. You know what I mean? I've already had that conversation. I've already made my peace with it. Because I know that energy. I was that energy. I know exactly how it's gonna turn out.
And I said to myself, I know where he is. I've been there. I was just there the other week ago when I was telling my son, and now everybody know, man, and he said the same thing. I said to my son, you're gonna go to prison. You keep doing what you're doing. They're gonna lock you up. Man, I've been telling, and then it showed me rich or poor. You understand me? Good bringing that boy born with. I didn't have a silver spoon for PMG, but this one right here don't have an excuse for not. You understand me being on track.
You talking about King, T.I.'s son?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And I seen him,
So yeah, as y'all see, and you can see, I don't know if y'all can see it, but you can see on the man face, on T.I. face, like, he's saying real shit, but it hurt him at the same time. A lot of us done grew up listening to T.I., so he talked about the shit he did when he was young and his music. And to me, I look at T.I. as, when we grew up, we didn't have drill, trap, all that bullshit, corporate rap, right? We had what they call reality rap that they hated. And I look at T.I. like reality rapper. He was like kind of like the last of the generation. Then, as he made trap music, the album, and Jeezy came out and all that, they try to rebrand all these rappers as trap rappers and shit. And, they had to make the downfall cool and shit, right? But the thing about it is, I remember a lot of songs from T.I. and shit, like Live in the Sky, Motivation, you know what I'm saying? ASAP, a lot of like shit that wasn't go out and like bang bang type music. You know what I'm saying? Like, I grew up on a lot of T.I. shit. He was one of my favorite rappers. Dude is cold, right? But at the same time and shit, like, having kids, kids got to come into their own, and they gonna grow up a certain way. And before I had kids, I used to think that peer pressure came from other kids, or what you was gonna be dealing with a lot in the world was gonna be a lot of things from other kids influencing your kids negative. You know what I'm saying? That ain't how that shit work at all. What's gonna influence your kids is society. You gonna tell your kids one thing, and society is gonna tell them something different. It ain't gonna be no other kids. It's gonna be the movies they watch. It's gonna be society itself that try and make them think that they know more than their parents. It's gonna be a lot of shit like that. It's gonna be society that pressure them for you as a parent to buy this thing for them, or to take them to this place, or, oh, I gotta have these shoes, or I gotta do that. It's society. It don't be no other kid. It be the whole air. You know what I'm saying? Like, it be everything and shit. It be you against everything in front of their eyes when they leave out of your fucking jurisdiction, damn it. You know what I'm saying? And so OG Percy know that shit. T.I. know that shit. T.I. son probably ain't one for too much of nothing to really have to get out and do too much, but that still don't change the fact that he's still gonna be up against the same things as everybody else. You know what I'm saying? You could try to shelter your kids, and that still won't do the difference. That still won't make a difference. It might not be the neighborhood that do it. It could be any number of things that influence your kid. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, with him just being the son of a celebrity, they might be trying him. You know what I'm saying? Little light-skinned dude, they might think he a little punk or something. He might be having to hold his own and shit. It's like, don't think because, you know, he got a little bit of money that it's like, he ain't gonna go through some shit. You know what I'm saying? Especially shit. That's just how it is. You see, they in Atlanta, it's a lot of people in Atlanta that got money like that. So he might not be getting treated special because he T.I.'s son. That could just be something that make him more of a target. You know what I mean? And that's just how it is. But the thing about it is this: whatever he going through, we all go through that phase. So for an older black man to be going after like other black men and shit, rather than helping them under the guise of helping them or doing the community a service. And let me tell you this too. One thing that was a giveaway to me about motherfuckers like Charleston White and shit, when they say community and shit like that, that's a dead giveaway of motherfuckers trying to sell you on some shit. And I'm gonna tell you why, right? Because we know in reality, 5 black folks can't stand together outside for too long without the police getting called. Ain't no fucking community. Where is the community at? You know what I'm saying? But whenever somebody trying to criticize us, we a community then. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no one black person that do nothing good and it be like, man, the community coming up. But somebody do something bad, see, we all gotta do better. We need to do better. We only get grouped. Black people are only allowed to group themselves together for something negative. Before Black Lives Matter even came out, I remember saying something when I was in college. I said, you think that white people, they always talking about tough on crime and they hate the Bloods and the Crips. You know what I'm saying? I'm dressed like a Blood and shit. You know what I'm saying? So woo, looking at, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, you think they hate the Bloods and the Crips? I said, wait till black people get together in a group or something. Like, you think they don't like the gangs? Like, no, they intrigued by that shit. If we got together for a positive reason, I said they would hate that shit more than anything. They would call it a terrorist group. Sure enough, before Black Lives Matter was even an organization, they was talking about Black Lives Matter as a terrorist group. That's what's more tripped out about it to me, about the Black Lives Matter thing, right? I remember talking to some of my, like, some white folks and shit, and they was talking about Black Lives Matter as a terrorist group. And this was before Black Lives Matter was even any type of organized organization and shit. So when people were saying Black Lives Matter was a terrorist group, I'm like, what do you mean? Who do they terrorize? Who are they terrorizing and shit? Because, you know, we got terrorist groups here, like domestic terrorists, like the Ku Klux Klan. But if you ask them about the Ku Klux Klan, they say, oh man, them folks ain't really, they just old people. They not really around. They not like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't see a problem with them, right? But really what they mean is they a necessary evil. That's what they really want to say, right? Like, we gonna keep them around just in case, right? But when you ask them about Black Lives Matter, they say that's a terrorist group. And this was before it was an organization. I'm like, so don't you think, I remember asking somebody this, a white person. I'm like, so don't you think that all black people think that their lives matter? And he was like, yeah. So I was like, so basically you just saying that all black people is terrorists then? And he really ain't had nothing to say about it. Because that was the original implication when they was all talking about BLM and it was this and it was that. They weren't talking about like, oh, the organization and they stole the money and this and that. Man, you think they care about Black Lives Matter stealing people money? They don't care about that shit. They cared about the effectiveness of it as an organization, amassing groups of people behind the cause and shit. So that's when they start talking about that shit like that, right? But yeah, so let me see what else.
The tie business, and that's good. You're tied. Shout out to Billy Taylor, man.
I'm gonna show y'all something else.
I just carry a little rocket bags in my pocket, nigga. Pow, shooting. Goddamn. You know, that's what I'm trying to say. The moral of that story is, when Whatever's in style, that's what they going with. So I feel sorry for T.I. to see the hurt and pain in his eyes because the kid is only following trend. It ain't him. PMG don't deserve to be in penitentiary because if that's the case, he would have had a juvenile record coming up as a bad child, as an unfit child, unfathered child, unmothered child. Not this, don't have this, don't got. We can understand he's a product of the system. Well, you can't say that. 20 years is a long time for a first-time felon.
What would you tell T.I. right now if T.I. was standing in front of you?
I don't know if y'all really heard what he said, but he was like, the kids follow what's popular. And I don't know if y'all remember me saying that in one of my earlier live streams. I said, that's what we gotta stop. We gotta stop being like everything that's popular is right. Don't just be what motherfuckers accept you as. You know what I mean? Just because some shit get popularized, some twerking or some fucking sliding and some ops and all. Where all you niggas get ops from? Everybody got some ops now. Ain't nobody after you. You ain't did nothing. You ain't, the gang you in ain't real. Just because you got a tattoo on your face, you not a gang member. Stop it. Like, stop this. We can't just go off of whatever is popular. Like, to me, that's, whenever you hear me talk about plantation, anything, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that portrayal. Like, when you feel like, okay, I know I could be better, but I'm gonna be what motherfuckers accept me as being. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is, man. And that's what he just said. That's what OG Percy just said. And I talked about that. And the thing about it is that our image, how we portray ourselves, that's what we gonna have to deal with more than anything. More than who the fuck you really is, what you really capable of. The image that's put out there about you is what's gonna precede you, right? And that brings me to my final topic and shit, because I'm running to the 2 o'clock mark and I wanted to get to this, right? Mm-hmm. Basically, we talking about the way we portrayed and how that shit could affect you, whether it precedes you, whether you have something to do with it or not. If Charleston White or somebody go out here and be like, oh, black people ain't this and they ain't nothing, I take my smart, educated, charming, disarming ass somewhere, you know what I'm saying? And I'm getting looked at a certain way already because people that have never met me before have got an impression from the loudest, most, you know what I'm saying, coonish motherfucker on the internet, and they think they know something about me. That's a problem for me. That's going to affect me. You know what I'm saying? Whether you think so or not. When somebody start to put stereotypes out there about you and they start to get rooted in people's head in society, that affect you. And so 2 was telling me about The Color Purple, right? And I never knew this shit. I grew up watching this movie, The Color Purple. I know y'all like, that's a hell of a segue, right? But listen, like, I grew up watching this movie, The Color Purple, right? Hard left on y'all ass on what? So I grew up watching this movie, my mama and my sister, The Color Purple, and I never knew that the NAACP wanted to ban the fucking Color Purple. Did y'all know that shit? Ooh, I'll answer. Y'all ain't know that. So the thing about it is, they wanted to ban it because of this horrible portrayal of how they was basically showing black men. You know what I'm saying? Let me see if I could, you know what? We are here online. Let me see if I could. Let me see. NAACP Color Purple. Let me see.
Something with Oprah. I mean, not Oprah.
All right, man, look at this.
The second one, Whoopi talk about it, like,
I never even knew this right here. Like, I never knew this, and then look, I go looking for it, and they got a video on it, and it says it's just from 2 years ago. So let's check this out real fast. But hold on, what was you saying too?
Oh no, that second video was Whoopi Goldberg basically saying, you know, talking about the backlash that happened when it was released. You know what I mean? And she was like, basically it was unwarranted, and it was, you know, black men talking about
The Color Purple is hot. The movie is selling lots. It got the most Oscar nominations. Even
derailing the movie for the folks that was, you know, that portrayed in the movie. But she's like, what you don't understand though, it was like an all black movie.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so y'all complaining like, about this shit, but like, man, this is all we can do right now. You know what I mean? So let us do it and let's get our bread. Basically, what she was saying. You know what I mean? So,
And that, oh, you know what? Hey, I was wondering about that. You know what he said? He said they was trying to boycott the movie, and basically, even though they was saying the movie was fucked up, the portrayal was fucked up, which we gonna look at, which I'm gonna show y'all. MacWorld exclusive, baby. Y'all ain't know nothing about this shit. You know what I'm saying? We taking you, we doing it for the culture, damn it. You know what I'm saying? But nah, he basically said her line that she was sticking with was, well, it's an all black movie. So basically we gotta take what we could get. And that's usually always the argument. If y'all don't know what a minstrel show is, back in the days, used to have these movies with like where black people were like, they started with white people dressing in blackface, and then they started actually having black people playing these roles, these negative stereotypical roles. And that was the thing why some people was like, this role is fucked up and that's fucking us up, it's fucking our image up. They thing was, man, we got to take what we could get. Some of that shit come back and bite us later because they get the image that get put out there start to precede us. Let's go.
The book by Alice Walker is a bestseller again. The Color Purple is one of those movies people seem to be talking about everywhere, and as Harold Dow reports, it's a movie that some people are getting upset about.
Color Purple is sold out. The next show is 9:15.
The movie, The Color Purple, is one of the biggest box office hits of the year. Not since Alex Haley's Roots has a story about black people generated such universal interest. And because of the way the movie depicts black men, it has become the focus of a growing controversy.
Seeley, give me some lemonade.
It's a story about incest, rape, homosexuality, and the physical and psychological abuse of black women by black men.
No need to think I'm gonna let my boy marry you just because you're in the family way. Ain't cold enough.
They need to change it if that's the way all black men are supposed to be. It's not true.
The Color Purple was picketed by black men and women when it opened in Los Angeles, and there have been informal boycotts in other cities as well.
Did y'all ever know about this shit? This is interesting stuff.
Since there are so many shades in The Color Purple, the movie has sparked heated debate in black communities across the nation. This was a meeting of New York area black journalists.
The Color Purple is not an attack upon black men. It is a challenge to the entire black nation.
Critics of the movie say scenes like this reinforce negative stereotypes.
I see they had historical simps back in the day too and shit. You know what I'm saying? Dude talking about it is not an attack on black men. It is a challenge to the black man. If you don't sit your nigga, you look like us. You look like you wasn't getting no, what did they call it back then? You wasn't getting no beaver back then, nigga. You wasn't getting no whatever they called it back then. You wasn't getting, fool, and that wasn't gonna get it for you supporting The Color Purple, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Rogers sweater wearing ass nibble. Nah, but let's go.
Stereotypes about blacks. Here, Mr. brings his mistress home to be cared for by his wife.
Many whites feel that black people are more violent, more sexually promiscuous. These are stereotypes that they hold of the black community.
Dr. Alvin Poussant is a professor of psychiatry at Harvard University.
Hey, so I'm gonna say this one time, right? You see, it's these certain specific stereotypes, right, that be having us fucked up. And if you look at all the people that I be calling the plantation overseers, they play into these same stereotypes. It's the very same thing. Like, you wouldn't think so, right? But Kanye West or somebody like Charleston White, their biggest threat or their biggest fear is somebody who is black, but just ain't a stereotype. You know what I mean? Because they are here to make sure that people are seen as stereotypes. It's like, look at me, I'm going to take my blackness, I'm going to take it over there. Now I'm going to use it to validate the stereotypes that people want to think about black people. Therefore, they going to keep me around. And you know what I'm saying? They going to keep them held back. It's like a two-sided sword or whatever you want to call it. Shit like that. So When you see these people talking about this way back in the days, it's back in 1986 and it's 2022 and we still dealing with the same thing. The same things. He talking about, man, people trying to portray black people negatively, but for everybody that say that we've been portrayed negatively, you gonna have somebody else to say, we ain't being portrayed that way. We just, black people need to do this. Or they need, like, basically, that was dude with the sweater on. That was 1986 Charleston White. You know what I'm saying? He said, this is a challenge to the whole black community. You know, like, man, get the fuck out of here with that shit. Like, you always gotta be representative. And so, no, I never knew this shit about The Color Purple. And I could say this, a lot of people grew up watching this. A lot of, like, my mama and my sister used to watch this movie every damn day. What effect did this have on people in society about the portrayal of black men? What effect did it have on black men themselves? You know what I'm saying? Like, looking at this, I was young watching this shit, and I mean, I didn't know it was I wouldn't know as a kid that it was an exaggeration or whatnot. Sometimes you see something and the controversy of it and the scope of it make it automatically acceptable within the culture, right? So you might not even get to see both sides of it, because I never knew nothing about the controversial side of it. And me being a man, right? Like, you would think that's something that you would want to know about, like, damn, The Color Purple was looked at like this or like that. And so you can look at it through that criticism, through that framework, like, damn, let me look at it a little differently now than it's just some entertainment. Like, hold on, is they really trying to drive this point across about black men like this? Like, but so looking at that shit right there, and I'm gonna go, you know what, matter of fact, I'm gonna split this into two parts. So I'm gonna go into it a little bit more tomorrow, because I want to show some actual scenes from the movie, just so y'all could get an idea of what I'm talking about, and just go back into a little bit more. Like, man, we gotta represent. Part of why I'm doing this shit, and I stated this before, is because we got too many idiots with voices, right? And if people don't speak up to show a different perspective of the black man, you know what I'm saying, or the way we think mentally, all that shit, then it's just gonna be motherfuckers taking that shit at face value. Everybody ain't out here. Like, a lot of us came from the streets, a lot of us done did shit, you know what I'm saying, in our younger years and shit like that. Some of us done did some time, you know what I'm saying, might have been to jail, might not have served no real serious time, but the thing is, like, if you ain't gonna reach back and take care of the people that you know is gonna go through what you've been through, you worse than them. You know what I'm saying? You worse than the people on the outside that don't know nothing about what we going through or the shit we up against. You know what I'm saying? But once you decide, you know what? It's easier, because I'm gonna tell you something about somebody like Charleston White. He say, oh shit, my hat fell. It don't matter. But nah, he say some shit like this. Oh, I thought it fell down. But no, he say some shit like this, right? He'll be like, oh, I'm going after the rappers. They tearing up the black community. They have free reign over destroying the black community. Like, let's say somebody like me was the go-to dude, right? And I was to tell dude, like, hey, I could tell you some real shit. Like, fuck that rap shit. You know what I'm saying? I'll show you some real shit that's really destroying the black community or whatnot, right? And let's say I was the show dude, that shit. And I was like, man, so look how they passing this legislation, you know what I'm saying, to make sure they railroad these kids. They doing this thing now, and this is a true story. They making them sign financial aid papers in order to graduate. So they don't give a fuck about these kids getting in debt. Half of the nation's money is ran on debt. You know what I'm saying? That's what a promissory note is. I mean, what a debt note is and shit. Shit is ran on debt. That's what's backing the money up, right? So they telling these kids to go out here, in order to graduate, you have to get in debt automatically. They making you sign up for financial aid. Now, that's a big ass problem. This is a problem that affect everybody, not just kids that's out doing shit or the bad kids. You know what I'm saying? This shit that's derailing the good kids. You know what I'm saying? That's derailing everybody. That's gonna fuck everybody up in the long run. Making sure it's stopping them from pursuing things that could build generational wealth, and it's putting them in debt right away. That's gonna stop them from being able to get certain benefits on their way to trying to build some wealth or do some wealth build. But if I told Charleston White, so what we need to do is we need to go over here, man. We need to go down to this building and do. He gonna be like, man, I ain't going after them white folks, man. Them white folks they ain't gonna put me in jail, man. Hell no. Like then you a comedian again now. You know what I'm saying? You ain't finna do. You ain't. That's all over your head. And he will say it. I promise to God. If y'all never looked into this dude, look into this dude. It's like. That's what the next wave finna be. We finna have the wave of the black anti-hero, right? Where people is gonna start to see like, man, I could get a certain amount of clout just by criticizing black people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't gotta be no leader. I ain't gotta profess to like, oh, I got solutions or none of that. Like, no, all I gotta do is criticize black people. Man, black people need to do this. Y'all need to do that, man. He be getting up there. He said some shit talking about, yeah, because, you know, when we was black people, you know, and he's talking about Boosie and shit, right? I would show y'all this shit, but I damn near don't even want to show y'all this. But he was like, yeah, black people, you know, yeah, because you a little pervert too. Yeah, it's like, yeah, we used to play house when we was little. And yeah, because we was all when everybody left. And yeah, we was all fucking. I'm like, what is you talking about, man? What are you talking about? Like, but you know what it is? He make it seem like he's some type of uneducated, like, coon and shit, right? So the stuff that he say, people gonna believe it. Now, if I get up there, right, and I'm like, nothing of the sort happens in the black community. Ain't no, listen, nobody's out here playing an intense game of house with they fucking cousins and shit like that. And people are raised differently. And you know what I'm saying? All type of shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It'll be like, oh, he don't know. He ain't from the hood. This is what white people would be thinking. Listen to how he talk. He ain't from the hood. Listen to Charleston White. Man, yeah, because you don't know, we used to get up in there, yeah. And we play house, yeah. And we are touching all on each other, yeah. Because, you know, black man, then he went and put on his MAGA hat. He was like, hold on, wait, let me put my hat on. And he put on his MAGA hat. He went back to cooning and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he'll jump up, do some of that shit, and folks will accept that. Like, yeah, right. Let me try and get up there and say something, but you know what? I'm a nigga like that, worst nightmare, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, when I get my chance to talk, and if I do get a platform and get a chance to speak on a wide level, I'm going to represent well, right? I'm going to make sure motherfuckers know, like, everybody ain't out here trying to be in no fucking game. But everybody ain't out here trying to sell out for a fucking buck either. It's some motherfuckers that's really out here thinking about their legacy. You know what's tripped out? Let me say this one last thing and shit, right? Before I go, right? Let me say this one last thing. Like, I'm watching Game of Thrones, right? And they already mad that it's a black character on there called the Sea Snake, right? They already pissed off about dude because, you know, they don't want black people represented unless it's in the plantation train, in the, you know, in the stereotypes and shit, right? So they mad it's a black character on Game of Thrones, but it's one thing I feel like is real tripped out about this particular black character that I think might go over people's head. Dude, whole thing on the show and the whole thing he worried about more than anything. He ain't worried about the throne. He ain't worried about the money. Only thing he worried about is the legacy of his fucking family. You know what I'm saying? And what they trying to do on there is they trying to wipe out his family's legacy and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's tripped out. Watch that shit, man. If that might, for those of y'all that read the book, and if you really like pay attention to that shit like that, it won't go over your head. But a lot of motherfuckers, it might go over their head and shit, right? But that legacy, man, you know what I'm saying? That got a lot to do with everything, because your legacy gonna stand regardless. When the money gone, whether the money up or down, that's what's gonna make a difference, right? So we can't be letting motherfuckers shit on our legacy as a people and shit, right? Right. That's all I got for y'all today, man. I done went over. We're gonna talk more about The Color Purple tomorrow, because it's interesting shit. And Thanks to everybody checking in. Two Guns came through, you know what I'm saying, moderating in the flesh, you know, Big Tool. He got the real tool on him and shit, you know what I'm saying? The real moderation tool. We'll moderate a nigga in real life, you know what I mean?
The tune up. Tune up with the tune.
Knock a nigga out the room in real life. You know what I'm saying? But nah, for real though, appreciate y'all coming out, man, to check out the show. Mama, I love you. And yeah, same time tomorrow. We gonna talk about some shit. My bad for getting preachy on y'all and shit. I know I get off on some shit sometimes, man, but I just be trying to make sure I get that point across because we might not get a chance to have these type of conversations in the future. If some of these motherfuckers get their way that ain't for us talking like this, like if I was saying some bullshit, hell yeah, they'll be with that shit, right? But I'm saying some shit that motherfuckers might not be wanting me to tell y'all, so yeah, it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna be back saying some more of that shit tomorrow. And yeah, you know how